So I have a fun question for you all. And if you wouldn't mind sharing it in the comments, that could be really fun. If someone asked your dog, and your dog could talk, what they thought of you as a teammate, how would they describe you? And I'm talking in terms of like the way we might describe our dog, right? So I might say, oh, my dog, is easily distracted, is Jekyll and Hyde, sometimes fast, sometimes slow, gets really aroused watching other dogs run in the ring, and that's the way we describe our dogs. But how would our dogs describe us at a trial? So I'll give you an example of me. Let's see, what would my dog say? That, oh, she gets a little nervous, like I'm sure they can smell nervousness, that she gets a little hyped up. When she feels she's running late, she gets very rushy, very, very nervous. If she's like, all of a sudden, like, she's like, oh, we got to get to the ring. After runs, she's quite excitable. She ends runs with a lot of excitement. Sometimes it's a bit overwhelming. I don't know if they say that overwhelming, but yeah, I'm excitable. What else would they say about me? That they would not say I disconnect, because I don't disconnect on course. But I'd say a lot of dogs would say of their handlers that at trials, my handler teammate disconnects. That when we're getting ready to run, she gets obsessed watching other teams run. And she doesn't pay any attention to me. And when we're getting ready to start a run, that she disconnects. She walks away and she doesn't pay any attention to me. What else? That my handler's too obstacle focused. She's focusing on handling the course, and she doesn't actually stay connected to me to know what I need, right? These are all things that dogs could say about us. When I make a mistake, she seems really disappointed, that makes me concerned, that she slumps her shoulders, and that she kind of gives up or her energy drops. So I think it's a great exercise to just think about what our dogs would be saying about us, because we are so clear about what we say about them, right? What we think about them. So let's see what did anybody have anything? So Chris Garrett, she's too emotional. So how does that emotional show up? So what would your dog be noticing about you? How do you get when you're emotional, and how does that make your dog feel? So, too emotional meaning excitable, or, both excitable and also disappointed feeling, and how does that express itself, and how does that make me feel as a dog? So Meredith writes, confusing. So, okay, and how does that make your dog feel? Confusing. That's a common one, right? We definitely can confuse our dogs. Charlotte's writing, I think she tries and is patient with me. She tends to my needs. So is that Shady talking or Bluebell? Because if that's Shady talking, why is Shady responding with barking? Something to think about. Bluebell, yeah, I could see Bluebell saying that she's looking after me. And Charlotte's saying she always smiles at me even when I know I'm being a naughty girl in the ring. She pets me when we leave. Okay, that's good. So that must be Shady. And how does Shady respond to that? Does she smile in return? Hope so. So Chris is writing, too excited makes me squirm. Yeah, so some dogs, really high energy, can be a turnoff to them, that they don't know what to do with it. So Chris, your dog might be responding to too much energy. And how do we connect with compassion to what our dog needs versus our normal way of being, while still being true to ourselves? Meredith's writing, I think we both get frustrated when things go sideways. So that's the dog speaking. Yeah. So these are great things to think about, right? Because we can have a moment of frustration, disappointment. I mean, I know I feel disappointed when my dog's taken off course. Like there was a moment of, crap, I just blew this run. But how quickly we get over that probably has to do with if we have self-judgment about screwing up, or if we just kind of go, oh crap, I made a mistake, and boom, we're over it, knowing that we're not perfect, that nobody is perfect. So if there is an emotion that is recurring for you and it sticks with you, it really, it sticks around versus you have the emotion and then it dissipates, it's worth thinking about what you're piling on top of it, what type of self-judgment that's keeping that emotion sticking around versus, kind of just a passing emotion. Karen writes, much more relaxed when training than in the ring. Yes. Yeah, I think my dogs would say the same. And I guess, my dogs might even say sometimes a little blasé when training, like doesn't really care if we get it right. That can be one of the negatives of training, when you're just kind of not that into it, that you don't try hard enough, or at least that's true for me. Charlotte's saying no to something. Rue leaves, Chris is writing. Yeah. So with a dog that says, oh, this is too much for whatever reason, and leaves, noticing what happens right before the dog leaves and being able to recognize it and see if you can't catch that and create a very, like the simple sandwich, the easy, hard, easy sandwich that I've talked about in the past, where do something the dog finds really, really simple and reward, and then release the dog to go away on her own and see if she still goes. So asking for something simple, I think, can really help a dog go, oh, something just made me want to go, but oh, look, I can do this thing, like Mark training, and then boom, then let the dog go. Builds a smidgy of resilience there. Let's see, what else? I talked about building drive. And I want to also just mention, what is drive? And how is drive different than arousal? A lot of people confuse arousal and drive. So they'll get their dog super, super revved up, and they think that's drive, when in fact that is just high arousal. So for me, I think of drive as the expression of confidence, clarity, and trust in themselves, and my dog's selves, and in me. And drive comes from within the dog. So I'm not trying to get drive from my dog. My dog is finding within himself or herself this inner drive, this expression of those mindsets that I just described. And the OCEAN acronym, especially of the first three, observe your dog, connect with compassion, engagement with joy, it's so simple, but if those three things are at the foreground of your training sessions and all of your interactions with your dog, drive is going to be a natural progression. That's what's going to happen as a result. That attitude before anything happens automatically, and never stop learning happens automatically, because our dogs are ever changing, we're ever changing, our situation's ever changing. So OCEAN really is the way to build drive. It's giving you the process for building drive. So for Phil, who asks, how does he build more drive in Ziggy to get Ziggy so that he can whoop Dakota's butt? You go through OCEAN, start again. I've gone through it now 3 times as I've created OCEAN, and with each group that's gone through it. And each time I go through it, I learn more and more about myself and my dogs. That this isn't something to go through once, or to go through haphazardly, or to say, oh, I already feed my dogs, I already touch my dogs. I'm going to leave that for the people who've never done that, and I'm going to go for the advanced stuff. I'm skipping all that stuff that I already do, and then I'm going to do the important stuff. That you're missing the point, that simple stuff is the important stuff. And it's where, for me, so much magic happens, and so much, like, I don't know, the depth of the relationships I have with my dogs, and the nuance of what I'm able to see in them, and then how I'm able to respond as a result of seeing these nuances, is creating better and better mindsets for training. I mean, Lil has never been happier to train in her life, and we're doing a lot of mat running lately in the yard, and she is brilliant at it. She was never this brilliant at it when we did it before. I just lost you for a second. Okay, if this ends, I think I'm kind of winding down anyway. But do simple things that don't have a goal that's related to something you want. Do it for the sake of doing it. And mat running, even if you're never going to do a running contact, is a fantastic skill to teach your dogs. It's something fun to train, and you can get very specific about rear foot targeting, which is great for dogs that have done all this mark training. It's something you can do, again, at home, inside, in your living room. You can do it in a tiny yard. You can do it in a park. You can do it between two mark buckets. You can do it between, as you advance, like, adding more motion in between multiple mats. There's so many things you can do with it. And you will learn so much about your dog by how they deal with, we'll call them failures, even though I don't think of them as failures. Let's just call them mistakes. And you're going to see how resilience can be raised up by how you deal with mistakes. Again, working on something that you have no goal attached to makes it a lot easier for you to just work with the dog in front of you and to help them build resilience based on what they're telling you about their inner experience. Can they, have 3 missed mats in a row? Do you need to make it easier, or do you think, I think they got this? And then see, it's going to tell you so much about how your dog learns and how they perceive mistakes and how you perceive mistakes, so that, when you're training the stuff that really does matter to you, that is going to take your cue away if you don't get it right, you're going to have all these training experiences and you're going to know what to do. And it's going to clarify training for you, clarify it for your dog, increase joy, and increase drive. So, Phil, I really encourage you to go through Ocean, and instead of, one of the things I've seen in some of the videos you've posted is you're mimicking what I'm doing with my dogs. Don't mimic what I'm doing. Do what your dog needs from you. So don't have multiple dogs in the room if that's just going to create chaos. Put one dog somewhere else and really get clear on the basics of a single mark with Ziggy and decide whether you want to release on motion or decide if you want to release on verbal and work on it with a single mark. And I'd say do all of the physical handling and proofing as real motion, like the way you really move. Don't do all the jumping around in ways that our dogs know, oh, that's just him doing the proofing, and they see it as this, parlor thing, and they're really not learning anything other than they're just watching you going, oh, you're doing that funny thing that means I should stay here. But it's not teaching them anything about your real motion. So, I think Ziggy can whoop Dakota. If we both run well, we'll be probably neck and neck. It'll be fun to see who can squeak out the win. Won't that be fun? And the same with Lexi. She's got the smaller stride. She's got the potential to be as fast or faster than these 2 dogs. So there's my challenge to you guys. If you guys are up for being even better than you are, work through Ocean and increase your dog's enthusiasm, and then I'll see you at the next trial. We'll see who wins. Oh my gosh, such pressure. Anyway, I hope I'm kidding about the winning part, but I do believe that both of your dogs would be as fast or faster than Dakota. I mean, Dakota is a fast dog, but he is not the fastest dog. So anyway, hope you guys enjoyed this session and that it was relevant to those of you who don't do NADAC, because a lot of this stuff applies to everything. And what else? I encourage you all to start posting questions and videos of stuff that you want me to specifically work on with you. Because now that we've gone through the foundation modules, we're shifting into this ongoing membership mode. And I think it's super useful and fun to see other dogs and handlers working. So, get your free one-on-one coaching sessions. I'm going to be doing one a week in place of these Q&As or merged with a Q&A. So definitely take advantage of this. It's, as you could see on that video, that there was a lot of information given, and I'm going to post a couple more of the same setup when I worked with Heather and Dakota's sister Echo, which was really mind-blowing in a way that I shared already, that Dakota acted like Echo within 30 seconds of Heather working with him. So anyway, that's a whole story I've said before. I'm not going to get into it. But I hope you all have a great day and a great week. And please share in our Ocean Foundations community, that I want to know what's going on with you. And for those of you who haven't been sharing at all, feel free to drop me a line and, let me know if there's anything you need, because I really do want to provide whatever I can to help you progress with your dog in the best and happiest ways. So until next time, bye.